Boom! We're on that Cloudwalker Greasy. So this morning, I give you a sample of my cousin's song that's gonna come out in New Zealand. Then we get straight into the Q&A, man, for real. This is Keep Pushing by Yoda, man. Gonna be releasing it in New Zealand for the first time in a couple of weeks. Loving it. Putting it behind Chris Karaoke, the Australian contender. No doubt, bro, we got you on this. We definitely have you on this.
We gotta keep moving. We gotta keep going.
What?
Keep the message in our minds. Keep the warrior in our heart, cause there's no going back now. If you believe, keep it up and wave your flag up behind. Wave your flag up behind, yeah.
Y'all see why I'm so happy I get to work with this kind of music. Absolutely. I get to see it in the background before any y'all hear it. Now check this out. We're going to play 10 seconds.
Let's walk, yeah. Together we can overcome adversity. Let's talk, yeah. And take a moment just to listen. There's no fighting in the system.
Yeah. I'ma go hard, push it to the limit. Balling all the way to the finish. About to win in every hour, every minute. Celebrating at the finish line, yeah, we did it. Yeah, we go hard.
Anyway. That's the song we put in behind Karaoke Careers in Australia, a starring contender. Can't wait. Hopefully I fly out there for his next fight and rock the mic as he comes up on stage. Comes out to box. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, let's do this Q&A. You guys have actually inboxed me a bit, so I'm going to get at you. Sorry, it's just like hectic for the next 3 weeks, but I will get back to everybody. If I don't do it by email, I will do it over here. And the first person to hit me up, according to my publicist, is Gerald. Oh, it's up Sazita, just means same name. And you're asking, why did I use Zimbabwean and African mythology in the basis of the book? Oh, it's pretty simple. We have a generation that doesn't know its history. In context of a history book, the chances of me sitting down with this next generation and saying, go read Zimbabwean history about... Okay, let me explain. Okay, a better way to explain it is, when I was in Australia, I met a lot of Zimbabweans born in Australia, and when I came here, I met a lot of Zimbabweans born in New Zealand, and they didn't even know their own history. I guess being born in New Zealand, they had to choose between the two, but I don't think you have to choose between the two. It's good to know both. So, growing up, we knew about legends like Nyame Nyame and the mermaids in the Chinoi pools and Dumburamwari, which is God's stone. In Zimbabwe, we've got the Munumutapa Empire, which existed ancient days. It was actually covered from South Africa up to about nearly Angola. And because Zimbabwe is not actually Zimbabwe is what the colonists decided to divide up and cut up so that the people would be disunited and it would be a long time for them to rule. But, and I sit down and tell people, did you know that in the Roger, we come from the Roger Empire? And the funniest things I found, some of these guys had really low self-esteem, but if you know that you come from a prince and warrior race, anybody says something to you like, nah, bro, the DNA, the ancients is here. When you tend to be vivid about, people can't push you around when you know where you come from. And I found it strange that a lot of, when they create Thor, that's Caucasus legend, and you've got, the Loch Ness, that's Irish, you've got, Aztecs. So what is it about us Africans that makes us think that we're inferior and we shouldn't use our own legends? When you look at the Yoruba, when you look at what comes out of Ghana, Nigeria, what comes from the Sudanese, princes and princes, when you got Egypt in itself and the Syrian society, so much ancient, so much beautiful mythology about those who mastered fire and then the gods of this and the gods of that and the demigods. It was kind of difficult as a Christian, but everybody in the book is a demigod, not a god. So for me, it was kind of easy on that. But I really felt if I could write a really intriguing book, which also incorporated what we're going through now, it's written on a timeline. So we go ancient, we go future, and we go to the present. So it's kind of that book where you can, and you can see a trend in it. But that's pretty much why I used a lot of I know Zimbabwean mythology way better than I know other African mythology, but it was really interesting to read about the different mythology and different issues that we face. And I also think because of the different mythology, we have different issues. Like more up north, they've got just more situations with genocide and all that kind of thing. We haven't really had it down south, so I'm not an expert to write on that kind of stuff. I stick to what I know. So if that helps answer your question, if not, right back, I'll get back to you, really get into it. Okay, second one is from Tafadzwa in Mutare. Hey, my Zoom people got my back today. Hey, for real, for real. And she's asking, why did I use Dzia? Dzia is my totem. Dziva Kamra Mataka Rasa China Hoye. Did I leave anything out? I take a lot of pride. I'm very proud. I'm hard-headed. I call it Munengami pride. So my last name is Munengami. It's my legacy. It's the most precious thing I have is my last name. So dear woman, if I marry you and I give you my last name, shit's deep. It's real. It's pretty real. Okay, third question. I like to do 3 in a row and then, let you guys decide which one to do. Comes from Nomazulu. Hey, for real, we're all Zimbabwean today. Nomazulu from Bulawayo. And you're asking, why did I make my first novel a love story? And the second one is more graphic and violent. Oh, it's not graphic and violent. I'm making my decision. There were a lot of factors. Like, I had changed my style musically when I started being an MC. I was a very young, aggressive, in-your-face MC, and I kind of toned it down as I got old. One was just simply maturing. 2, when you have a child, you kind of like, can they repeat my lyrics? So when I wrote the book, there were these, I was a little bit upset because all these negative stereotypes coming out about black males, and a lot of people couldn't actually differentiate the difference between an African-American male, an African male, and a British male. African male, because our mindsets are so different. When Moses is so different, what's involved in our culture is so different. It's one thing to be a descendant of a slave, it's another thing to still be the descendant of kings and queens and, temporarily be enslaved and then come back out of that. So there were a lot of factors in that, but there were a lot of negative stereotypes about African men and whether we're romantic or not. But this is an interesting fact, the fact that there's sex tourism of older European women to African countries like Kenya and, unfortunately, my beloved Zimbabwe and different other places. So just to kill the stereotype, that's why I came out with the first love story. And I'm at a stage in my life where I believe I'm going to settle down soon. So this was like, part of it was a promise to my future wife that this is what it's going to be. So that's that. Besides that, I'll do 3 more and then we wrap it up and share a little more music because you don't actually get to see all the music that's in the background and some of it won't come out. So let's do this thing.